Oh.
I think that probably.
Good evening.
Hello, how are you? Great, nice to see you. So, yeah, I just, Grant's been sending these emails around. I thought it was going to be a pretty
I haven't been asking your car.
how much of the money is Oh, great. So I, the email that sent, basically just, check on fundraising and so on and so forth. And they're supposed to be putting in money for tours. And taking youth pictures and putting them in their account. They're starting and giving us I'm assuming Frank's going to bring that up tonight. Yeah.
Not too fun, but good for you. It's somebody else's house. That's more fun.
Really?
Which is fun.
Really?
Chris said, well, they're concerned and do something there, you do some more research.
Well, he wants me to go back to the
I don't know that much about it, but it looked like a pretty standard, deal that they use all the time.
It is. But it's also.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
So,
you
I'm
can,
thinking about children.
I was saying, every time you think a meeting's going to go quickly, we forget new business, streets and sidewalks. And he's going to go back over his numbers because he's gotten this. Yeah, I don't know. I told him, like, doing the whole business, Jerry, and he sent me an email and said, hey, yeah.
We don't have enough to take something. We used to at least make it a town.
Hello.
It was like, we're just not good at this at all. Maybe we should stop. Constant grades on it, when I go by today, it's like, wow, there's nothing pretty much.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You never know. Tim's been on 4 minutes because he wants to change it.
Yeah, that's sort of stuff. I'll say it like that, that's what we do. It's like
How was it? I have to move because I was seeing it here. You can see your head. Move it a little bit. Maybe just move. Yeah. So what's the story? We're gonna get a word from. Made you show up anyway. Yeah, that was the thing. Oh, just recently. Oh, and so neighborhood watch. And I'm allowed to kind of stand around and get pictures. I was just about to say, I was very, very lucky. Because Crestwood was on the job. So,
Stand right there. Basically, I was hoping that this would be early key agenda. I didn't want to stay here all night long and listen to all of the debates and so forth.
they only posted it internally.
It's great.
No external candidates. I was the only one.
You were the judge. We met. Judge Fry. Guilty party.
All right,
All those pictures of the
you got a professional photographer.
Yeah, we came over there and well, I guess
They're with me.
it was up White Cliff. We saw your wonderful display. My wife and I came up there and they found memories. And now it's just kind of flat.
You know what? I may have the same camera as that. Oh, is it? Well, watch it. Amazing technology.
This guy's right. He's kind of got that kind of a Brad Pitt kind of twist to it, you know.
I was talking yeah, well, it must be my bees. They must be. They left my place.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I still like a lot of what comes to me. Wow. That would sort of be the floor.
And all of these were done.
Yeah, I did so much activity there today. I drove by a couple of times. Some days you trucks moving around and whatever it is, pounding and drilling and doing stuff. So it seemed kind of quiet today.
I know when I get on the webcams, and you know how it's usually shoots through electric and I'm always out there.
Yeah. You need to get a light. You need to get a light there. Yeah, good work.
Just so close. told her, we go so out. There's a couple of girls. They say we're going to read it again, so
As a matter of fact, what brings you up here? So what? We tried to
she lives in BOA. Yeah. 13 minutes from here. She wanted the new 141. It used to be 15 when they got it. And then when they redid it, now it's in the mortgage, you know. Sometimes they gotta wonder.
Is it done already?
No, well, it's still half-assed. It went from 4 lanes down to 2 when you get off at 46 and 41.
You're right.
I went through 2 lots before and I'm going through 4 lots. So to me, it's like 5 years. Sometimes they just go off and it's about the same. But I'll hang back here and then when you're ready, I went to the Oktoberfest. What's the most boring the same places and always the same. Because it could be in the right area.
I just get a bit like put there and then you can leave it.
Yeah, if there's something rolled back. Something lean or something that does it. By the time you do it, you have to walk through all the movement. It's like I might as well just do it. It's just I open up about 24 drivers.
You have like a mic or a couple of
I got a so commands it 6 and it does everything and then I do close. You know, do this close, do this close. Button watch TV.
My neighbors, when they call me here, you see the paper, it's
It shows, I mean, years, so we can issue for.
I did. You did? Yeah, you did right. You were for Mike, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
You might know. Have they street solution? Have you heard of that? It's about the oh, really? It's to provide IT solutions. And they want someone who can feel it, you feel it, and read it. Yeah, right. It's like 16 minutes, secret clearance and all that. Top secret.
Okay, we'll call this meeting of the Board of Aldermen to order, please. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and welcome. Would the city clerk please take roll call?
Alderman Greedy.
Here.
Alderman Wallach. Here. Alderman Spatter. Here. Alderman Charles.
Here.
Alderman Navy.
Here.
Alderman McGowl.
Here.
Alderman Anderson.
Here.
Alderman Kennedy.
Here.
All eight are here. You have your quorum now.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is a Sappington House Foundation report. Is there anyone here from Sappington House that's going to present that? Yes, ma'am.
Well, all of us. Right?
If you'd just step to the podium and as you speak, please give us your name and address for the record.
I, Sally Kukuris, 1015 South Sappington Road.
Okay.
I believe all of you received all the material from when I first started. I'm the resident manager in August 2013, and I submitted documentation and just an outline of what we've been doing, and I hope you guys are pleased. We've been working very hard to make Sappington House a destination that people want to come to, and we hope that you are proud of us and consider us an asset to Crestwood.
Okay. There was one thing in the report that I read that I just wanted to ask you about with regards to the funds and from tours, and you mentioned at the end it was going to be rectified in 2018, but you didn't go into any detail as to what that rectifying was going to be.
Oh, okay. The rectifying is, as of January 1, 2018, the city will get all of our fees from all of our tours, whether they are tours that we arranged, usually it's me, or if it's just a walk-in off the street.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, and everybody needs to come to trivia night. Some of you guys are already signed up, don't forget. We need to raise funds.
I expect to win that, so.
I know, you already have a table, and so does some of the others on the board, so that's very good.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Okay.
Anyone else in your group, anyone have any questions from?
Can I introduce my group?
I'm sorry? Sure, please do.
Hi, this is Denise Lutz. She
Okay.
is going to be our incoming president, and you're going to be doing the installation here in a couple weeks.
I am.
Eunice Lingle. Eunice is the treasurer.
Sure.
Don Moser, the secretary, and Diane Jerkus.
Okay.
She is the chairperson for this.
She is,
She's
huh?
been doing all the hard work.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
good. Any questions from the board for Mrs. Kokers? Alderman maybe?
I was going to say congrats on a great year last year and good luck in the coming year. I was going to ask you, I know Mr. Simpson's not here, but if we could put that PowerPoint that was put together either on the website or perhaps on the city's Facebook page just so the residents could see everything that transpired in the last year. Whoever put that together did a good job. It was very comprehensive. So thank you.
we worked hard on that.
Okay, thank you. You want to talk a second about your archaeological dig that you had?
I can even hand out something.
That's fine. You can give them to city clerk and she'll see to it we get them.
Okay, so for 2 years now, we have worked with AIA, which is the American Institute of Archaeology, the St. Louis chapter, and also the professional organization that they are actual archaeologists. So they come and they supervise high school students. So if anyone knows sophomores or juniors that want to be involved this next year, it can be from any high school in the city. Well, you know, the city, the county, even maybe, you know, Jefferson County or outside counties. But they need transportation, but it's a 3-week dig. They're digging right on the side of my cottage, which they have found the foundation to the summer kitchen, the cistern. They found all kinds of artifacts, glass, china, bullets, a lot of pig bones. I think the Sappington family liked pork. So it's very interesting. It's very scientific. They do it precisely the way they would if they were actual scientists. So it's a great learning experience. And some of them sort of get, I think, some credit. But then we do other things like last weekend we had International Archaeology Day, had a wonderful program. I even shot a musket. It was a lot of fun. So, and our things were on display. And then in a couple weeks, November the 12th, we are going to have the students will give a presentation at the U.S. Grant National Historic Site. And that's very interesting too, because they talk about their experiences. The artifacts will be on display. You know, it's not just one thing, it's numerous things. We've already worked out with AIA to do the 2018. That will start May the 31st.
Okay.
So it's an ongoing project that has really produced some results. We have unearthed some artifacts that are important to our history. So that's cool.
I know last year when I came up to watch the kids doing the excavating, you had me standing underneath a tree there that pelted me with little blue berries that stained all over the floor, so I appreciate that.
There are some dangers.
Or whether that was just
There are some dangers of being outside, and right now it's falling walnuts.
Yeah.
Not
it is.
those little
Okay.
berries, but it's always
Okay.
something.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thank you, I appreciate it. Did anyone in your other group wish to say anything regarding the
They
presentation?
all have lots of
Okay.
things to say, but I don't know if they're going to say it.
Well, we thank you very
I'm
much.
proud of the work we're doing.
Thank you.
All
And we'll
right.
see you at tribute.
Excellent, thank you.
You bet. Okay. Next item on the agenda is recognition of the Crestwood Night Out winner. Chief, you wish to announce who that is, and we'll have one of the aldermen from Ward 4 make that presentation.
Your Honor, after polling the members of the police department who participated in the 2017 Crestwood Night Out, the officers advised that they thought that Ishmael, Iowa, from on Rusden Lane was the winner for the best gathering for the 2017 Night Out. And he has been notified to be here this evening and will receive a plaque and as a presentation for a job well done with his Night Out program. From what I understand, there were things for the kids to do. There was a band. There were a whole lot of different things going on. I unfortunately wasn't able to make it. So congratulations to Ishmael for all that he does in the community.
You like to come up, Mr. Ryder? Okay.
The spirit of the fourth ward, yeah.
I think the fix is in, to be honest with you. I mean, they won the Aldermanic barbecue, and now they're award for the best block party. So,
If I may, Mr. Mayor, board of the member of the board, there are a couple of people I would like to recognize tonight because without them, I couldn't have done that. And I think it's important that we realize that it's not only me, but it's a team effort, it's a labor effort. So there are a couple of people. First of all, I want to thank you, Chief, and the board and Mr. Mayor. I want to thank the Great Police and Fire Department. They showed up and the kids were delighted to have them coming. And so those people that would like to recognize, a couple of them are here tonight. There is Tom Kroska. He's a good friend, he's a fellow Watford resident, but he's also our chairman of the beautification committee. He was also wonderful at helping me, trying to entertain the kids. I have to also recognize my wife. I should have done that very first because without her help, I couldn't have done that. There's in the room today. There's Rebecca Nena that also has been wonderful. Rebecca, she's over there. She was there asking me if I needed anything and running errands for me. She was wonderful. There was also Darian Cockrell. He's the physical education teacher at Crestwood Elementary. He ran the activities and games for the kids, and the kids were also very delighted. They were running and doing a lot of stuff like this. Joe Condelia was our DJ for the night. Paul Gados, Ed Selbach, Kevin and Jen Dar, Lynn Reyna, Jim Foltz, Carol Schultz, Patricia White, Paul and Judy Newsham, and Leslie Gibson, Mark Carty for a wonderful article about my event at the South Carolina Times newspaper, because I guess that helped a little bit to have so many people coming that night. So, and thank you to everyone who attended.
by the way, the boss just walked in. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You bet. I actually did get to attend that block party, and it was quite an event. They had a lot of activities for the kids. They had a lot of games. One of the residents is actually, I guess, a physical education instructor at one of our elementary schools, and he put on a bunch of activities for the kids to participate in. And so with the band and everything else going on, it was quite an active party. So congratulations, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is public hearings. We have none. Next item is Mayor, Board of Aldermen, and City Administrator reports and/or comments. Alderman Breeding.
Just a couple quick things. If you haven't seen it on Facebook or read it somewhere, a resident of Ward 1 will be on Jeopardy tomorrow at 4:30. Mary Grace Buckley. So don't know the results yet, so you have to tune in tomorrow. I think it's 4:30 on Channel 5. So that's exciting for her. I want to thank the police department for coming to our block party we had a couple weeks ago. And if you can make it, it might be cold, but this Friday the Lindbergh Flyers play the Kirkwood Pioneers in football playoffs. It's exciting. Tons of people are there. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Alderman Wallach?
No report.
Alderman Statter?
Just a couple of quick remarks. For Christmas in Crestwood, we are looking for volunteers the weekend of November 11th and 12th right here at City Hall to help us get door hangers out to every door in the city of Crestwood to let everyone know about all the Christmas in Crestwood events that are going on this year. And we are also announcing that the Holiday Lights Contest is up and running. So if anybody would like to throw their hat in the ring for the best decorated holiday house, you can do that at any time now. Just go to Christmas in Crestwood's Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Sharpman?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Again, congratulations to Mr. Iowes, and thank you to the police department, the fire department for everything they did with the night out, and thank you to the citizens, everyone that participated and hosted. It's really nice to see our community coming together with those events. We did have a fire board meeting last night. The next fire board meeting will not be until February 26th, but I do want to go over a couple quick numbers here. It's nice to see, just to show you what the local control that we have, you know, that in the month of August, the fire department had received 92 calls for service. That's 829 calls for the year, and the average response time is 3 minutes and 38 seconds. I think that's something to be applauded. And then in September, there were 113 calls for service, which brought the total up to 942. And the average time was 4 minutes on those. You know, our police department and fire department are able to get to you all quickly, and I think it's a testament to their service they provide. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Maybe.
Thank you, Your Honor. The only thing I have is this Saturday is the Crestwood Family Fun Fest in White Cliff. It is from 11 to 2. It's free. There's food trucks, games, hay rides, inflatables, trunk or treat, and live music. So it should be a good time. Hopefully the weather's good.
Thank you. Alderman Miguel.
No report, Your Honor.
Okay. Alderman Anderson.
No report.
Alderman Kennedy.
I'm glad I worked for one event, and I imagine that I tried my best to decorate a house. So congratulations to Ishmael, and thank you. That's it.
City Administrator.
No report.
Replacement. No
No
report.
report.
City Attorney.
No report, Your Honor.
Okay, and I have no report either. Thank you. Okay. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak on any issue, either on the agenda or not on the agenda, may do so at this time. If you would please limit your comments to 5 minutes. And I will start on this side. Anyone on this side care to speak? I see no hands. Anyone on this side care to speak? I see no hands. So that will take care of public comment. We'll move on to the next item here, which is old business. First item on old business is an ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 9 of the Municipal Code of the City of Crestwood, Missouri, to revise sections related to duties and powers of the city fire marshal. Who's going to, Chief, are you going to address that?
Thank you, Your Honor. After the last meeting, the decision was made by the board basically to send this ordinance back to staff so that we could work on rewording it a little bit. We certainly took into account Alderman Anderson's point about in the phrase shall inspect all buildings and the implication that it may have. So after discussing that between myself, the fire marshal, and the city administrator, and actually as a recommendation from our police chief, we decided that if we removed the word all, that then the ordinance would read that and shall inspect premises, existing buildings, and all new construction. And the result being is that it would address Alderman Anderson's point about the implication that we had to inspect every building every year. But we all felt that shall was, I guess, a better word choice than going to may. The fire marshal actually brought forward from his previous experience that he had some property owner, or attorney for a property owner who had challenged him at his previous place of employment and said, well, if it says may, that also means that you may not. So in an effort to avoid that potential in the future, as I said in our discussions with the city attorney, we decided to leave the word shall, but remove the word all from it. So I think the other concern or question was from Alderman Maybe, with the relation of this language to the new 2015 International Fire Code, and I can report that that is basically where most of this language came from originally. So,
Thank you. All right. Any comments from the board? Okay. You guys both at the same time, so Alderman Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've reviewed, of course, the ordinance. I find it to be a good change and fully support it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Alderman Maybe.
I agree. I think the changes look good. The only thought I had was if the fire chief was on vacation or otherwise absent, if it might be appropriate to insert at the very end after the phrase fire chief or city administrator. And I would welcome the city attorney's thoughts on that, and if she concurs, I would move to add that language.
Under the section 9-19, you're talking about only ordinance?
Yes, so it says all these duties of the fire marshal and other duties as may be directed by the fire chief, and I'm thinking, adding or city administrator, or is that implied?
I think, well, two thoughts. If I remember correctly, my discussions, I think, with you, Chief, and with the city administrators, you wanted to leave this just the fire chief.
Right.
And the second thing is, I think in the fire chief's absence, there's someone who assumes all the fire chief's duties, correct?
Correct.
So that person would then naturally have the authority to direct the inspections in the event the fire chief is absent. So I'll leave it, I mean, legally you can do whatever you prefer. But if you want to.
Yeah, there is other language in the code that, when in the fire chief's absence, then the assistant fire chief basically fills in or takes over those responsibilities. So in this case, that happens to be the same person, the assistant chief and the fire marshal.
Sure.
But I certainly understand your point. But again, it is covered in other sections of the code.
Okay, I guess I can be fine leaving it as is.
Okay. I see no other lights. So, do I have a motion and a second for a first reading?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. May I have the bill number, please?
1764.
17-64.
Correct.
Okay. Pass that down to Alderman Statter. Alderman Statter, if you would do the honors when you're ready.
Pleasure. Bill number 17-64, introduced by Alderman Statter. An ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 9 of the Municipal Code of the City of Crestwood, Missouri to revise sections relating to duties and powers of the City Fire Marshal.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Kennedy.
Yes.
Alderman McGough.
Yes.
Alderman Statter.
Yes.
Alderman Wallach.
Yes.
Alderman Anderson.
Yes.
Alderman Mabee.
Yes.
Alderman Charbonneau.
Yes.
Alderman Reed.
Yes.
8 ayes, the motion has passed.
We have a motion and a second for a second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, Alderman Charbonneau, would you do the honors, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Bill number 17-64, introduced by Alderman Statter. An ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 9 of the Municipal Code of the City of Crestwood, Missouri to revise sections relating to duties and powers of the City Fire Marshal.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Charbonneau.
Yes.
Alderman Anderson.
Yes.
Alderman McGough.
Yes.
Alderman Reed.
Yes.
Alderman Statter.
Yes.
Alderman Kennedy.
Yes.
Alderman Mabee.
Yes.
Alderman Wallach.
Yes.
8 ayes, the motion is passed.
Okay. Alderman Miguel.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just a couple of follow items on what I discussed or talked about at the two previous meetings relative to street maintenance. I looked at the budget for the last, from 2013 through 2017, and through 2015, the budget was consistently in the $700,000 to $800,000 area. In fact, in the 2015 budget, I believe, even the streets were spelled out as to which streets would be maintained. In 2016, the numbers dropped suddenly to the $500,000 area. And I believe at that time the city did not have a city administrator in place. And it appears that those numbers just carried forward into the 2017 budget. So I don't know what prompted the drop or the revision of expenditures on an ongoing basis in the 5-year plan. I did find by going through the budgets that it appears to me that the current cost of street replacement for concrete slab replacement is $50 a square yard. The cost for mill and overlay based on the current budget, the 2017 budget, for work to be done in 2018 is $7.75. Now that's in contrast to a cost that was used previously of $12 a square yard. I don't know what explains the discrepancy or what that's due to. It could be the quality, it could be the different type of work. But I just wanted to point that out. Bottom line, I still feel that we are underspending on street maintenance. And in the past couple of meetings, I asked for a number to get an idea of what does the city really need. Discussed it a couple of times with our city administrator. He said he would prefer to hold off until after the new year, when he would have an opportunity to get staff more involved and come up with a better number. And seeing as how I don't have any authority over the city administrator, I certainly do not object strongly. Still, I would prefer to see something that this board could use to evaluate the cost of street maintenance as we go into the budget season. And as I thought about it further, in order to get a really good picture of the city's needs, I think maybe it would be helpful if we were to step back, not just look at streets, but also sidewalks. And I think I commented on that back in the spring when it came up. But I think we need to take a look not only at streets and sidewalks, but also look at stormwater and lighting. Lighting was an issue that street lights were installed on a request within that budget until roughly 2010 or in that area. But that's a program that wasn't a process. It was halted because of lack of funding. If we now have funds, I think we need to look at everything, not just streets or not just sidewalks. So those are my thoughts, and that's all I have here. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman McGill. Alderman Mealy. 3 brief thoughts. One, I would agree and concur with most everything Alderman Miguel said. Fair points all around. My second thought, just a caveat to that prior statement, would be that just so we're all ready to have these discussions, any one alderman can add an item as a discussion item, and so if we're going to talk about streets or sidewalks, I think it'd be preferable to add it to the agenda ahead of time, just so we can see that under a new business discussion item and bring materials and be ready to talk about it instead of kind of bringing it up off agenda. And then thirdly, just to answer your question, and I'll let Jim or whoever else recalls correct me if I'm wrong, but from my recollection from 2015 and 16 was that the city traditionally had done a 3-year cycle on streets with 2 years of mill and overlay and 1 year of slab replacement, and the $700,000-800,000 annual numbers were in the mill and overlay area, which would have been what happened in 2014 and 15, and the slab replacement typically would slot in at those same numbers, but because so many slabs were deficient at the time they were looked at, and the cost was going to be around $1.1 million, the thought was to do 2 years of slab replacement and split the work into 2016 and 2017, which is why the budgets wound up being about $550 each of those years, as opposed to the prior $700,000 or $800,000.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
All right.
See no other? And I see nothing else under old business. So we will move on to the next agenda item, which is approval of the consent agenda. This time, any member of the board wishing to remove something from the consent agenda should turn on your light and do so at this time. Alderman Maybe?
The ordinance approving the maintenance agreement with MSD, if we could pull that off, please.
Okay. Okay. Alderman Miguel?
Hey, just have a couple of basic, there's some questions around the shelter and also on the event.
Okay, so you want to pull that? Okay. All right. Okay. See no other lights, so we will move on. Would the city clerk please read those items?
Since you just have the minutes, you can do a simple voice vote.
Just what?
We just have the minutes left, is all.
Yeah, the minutes and the resolution.
He pulled the resolution.
I'm sorry?
He pulled the resolution.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
So you can do the minutes with the voice
Wait a minute,
vote.
he pulled the ordinance. Alderman Maybe pulled the ordinance on MSD.
But Alderman Miguel asked for the other two items.
Oh, you pulled two of them, Jerry?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Animal shelter and big event.
Okay. All right,
I'll make a motion, Your Honor, to approve the 3 sets of minutes.
okay.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay. All right, so we'll take the first item on the agenda under items removed from the consent agenda, and that would be the renewal of the animal shelter. Alderman Miguel.
Thank you, Ron.
On page 10 of the lease agreement, maintenance and security, that paragraph, lessee at its cost and expense shall maintain the leased premises. Does that include exterior maintenance as well as interior maintenance? I would ask city attorney for an opinion there.
I think that would be the whole, and I've got to go back to look, it would be the entire premises, which would include.
The reason I ask this is because it really doesn't point out that the city will maintain the building, the structure. And if there should be some structural problem with that, would the city be responsible for maintaining that building during the term of the lease?
Alderman Miguel, if it's all right with you, I'd like to, I don't have the exhibit that's attached that describes the premises. Could I get that answer to you in an email?
Sure.
General Counsel,
Yes.
the city does utilize part of the building. The Friends of Animal Control, they only use part of the first floor. They don't use the basement.
So the premises, and that's what I don't have the exhibit A.
It's
probably
a
described
jointly-
as just that spot portion.
It's a jointly shared building, and they have water and electricity, and that's all. And they do pay a portion of the water and electricity.
So the city then is responsible for the structure?
The city is using the basement for storage, and then that's the other side of the building is where we have our carpenter's shop. So we really are using most of the building. They are using, I would say, less than 50% of the first floor.
Okay. All right.
So
That's fine. So that's really all I have on that particular issue. I was wondering who was responsible for the structure, and it appears it's, it's the city.
Yeah, and I believe the Friends of Animal Control actually recited the entire building when they
started the lease with us originally.
Okay. Very good. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Alderman Breeding?
Yeah, my question is, why are we charging $50 a month when they do provide a service to the city and they're not for profit? I'm wondering why we don't go back to $1.
Mr. Phillips?
That the amount was set by the Board of Aldermen the last time. So it is up to the Board of Aldermen's pleasure to decide what the rent is.
I'll make a motion that we change the rent to $1 a month, $1 a year. $1 a month.
I'll second that.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second to amend the agreement renewal for the animal shelter from a $50 per month charge to a $1 per month charge. And we have a second second on that.
Well, I'm looking at page 9 and it says $1 a month.
That's
That was
the
the old one, I'm looking on, I'm sorry.
Before we take a vote on that, Alderman, maybe did you wish to comment on that? Obviously. Okay.
I don't have it with me, but the last time we amended this back in, whenever we,
December 2015.
that sounds right. We received a memo from the city attorney about the constitutionality of providing basically free services to private actors, whether they're not-for-profit or not, and that it was a lengthy memo with a bunch of case law and things attached. But I remember there was a discussion at the time about why we raised it from $1 to $50, and it was because otherwise there was some constitutional infirmities with doing it. So I recognize they do a good service. I mean, we're basically giving them a lengthy extension with no inflationary increase, and I think the $50, if I'm remembering right, that was appropriate to do.
I'll withdraw that motion at this time then.
You need to reduce it to anything above $1. You want to reduce it from anything under 50. You want to make it 25, you can make it 25. That's up to you.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Alderman Charbonneau.
No further comment, Your Honor.
Okay. Alderman Miguel.
If there's no other comments, I'll move for a first reading.
Okay. We have a motion for a first reading. We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Nay. Bill number?
1765.
Guess that's down to Alderman Miguel.
Bill number 17-65, introduced by Alderman Miguel. An ordinance approving a second amendment of lease agreement with Friends of Animal Control and Rescue and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute the same on behalf of the city.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Charbonneau?
Yes.
Alderman Kennedy?
Yes.
Alderman Miguel?
Yes.
Alderman Walk?
Yes.
Alderman Statter?
Yes.
Alderman Anderson?
Yes.
Alderman Navy?
Yes.
Alderman Reed?
Yes.
8 ayes, the motion has passed.
Okay. We have a motion and a second for a second reading.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Alderman, maybe would you do the honors, please?
Certainly. Bill number 1765, introduced by Alderman Miguel, an ordinance approving a second amendment of lease agreement with Friends of Animal Control and Rescue and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute the same on behalf of the city.
Roll call.
Alderman Anderson?
Yes.
Alderman Navy?
Yes.
Alderman Charbonneau?
Yes.
Alderman Breeding?
Yes.
Alderman Kennedy?
Yes.
Alderman Miguel?
Yes.
Alderman Statter?
Yes.
Alderman Walker?
Yes.
8 ayes, the motion has passed.
Okay. Question for the city clerk. Why on the agenda was that not listed as an ordinance instead of just said renewal of the animal shelter lease?
It was on the official agenda. It was posted. You have draft copies.
We don't get it. We don't get it.
You had a draft copy.
Doesn't say draft. Just this
The
is.
one posted out there has the
Okay.
by time.
Okay.
And
All right.
that.
Thank you. All right. Next item was the resolution approving administrative expenses budgeted by the Big Bend Crossing Transportation Development District in excess of $5,000 for fiscal year 2018 and related matters. Alderman Miguel?
Thank you, Your Honor. More of a comment than anything else. Looking at the report of the budget message there, page 8.3 at the very bottom, or in that last paragraph, it notes that the balance of the TDD will be $215,000 at the end of December 2018. And halfway through the paragraph, it mentions that principal payments on the bonds in 2018 will be approximately $130,000. So pretty simply, the TD will pay off in 2020. Now the reason I bring that up is as an alert to the TDD administration to ensure that that tax is eliminated sometime there in 2020. Because it is my understanding that the TDD board is the one that placed the tax, therefore I expect the TDD board will has the power to stop it. And the reason I bring it up is because when the Shop and Save, either the TDD or the TIP, I forget which, but that paid off and the tax continued for some time. So let's not allow that to happen again.
Okay.
And so that's all I have, Your Honor, and I thank you.
All right. So do I have a motion and a second for a first reading? I'm sorry.
You only need one reading.
Yeah, I know. Motion and a second. We haven't done a reading on it yet. That's why I asked for a motion and a second to approve. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay. All right. The next item is an ordinance approving a maintenance agreement between the City of Crestwood, Missouri and the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District relating to stormwater facilities constructed in connection with the Public Works Facility Project in the City of Crestwood and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute same on behalf of the city. Alderman, maybe you were the one that asked to pull that?
Yes, Your Honor. I talked to the city administrator and city attorney briefly. This maintenance agreement is something that MSD generally requires municipalities to enter into when these new public improvements are done that involve changes in the stormwater situation. This particular agreement is, with the exception of changing out our address, appears to be word for word the stock agreement that MSD attempts to use. And plenty of other cities have adopted it as is. I think the language is a tad one-sided and is too in favor of MSD. And while it's something we ultimately need to enter into, I think it's something that should be negotiated a little bit more. Other cities, including Creve Coeur, have tweaked some of the provisions in a back and forth with MSD. And in this particular situation, because this is coming about in conjunction with our lease and our kind of omnibus contract with MSD, where we're swapping the public works facility and they're working on their Project Clear project, we have provisions whereby they pay our attorneys to negotiate some of those things that arise. And so I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention. Chris wasn't going to be here this evening, but he suggested I just throw that out to the board that and basically make a motion to direct the city attorney to negotiate with MSD if that was the will of the majority of the board.
Are you going to provide those items for negotiation? You haven't stated which items you wanted negotiated.
Well, to the extent they touch on legal responsibilities and things like that, I'd rather, and we can get into it tonight. I typed a page-long email to the city attorney and the city administrator. I can touch on that tonight, but I'd prefer to have the back and forth occur between the lawyers.
Okay.
Okay.
Please.
Based on Alderman Maybe's email, I think just he's correct that this is just the standard one and that MSD uses. And he did show me creep cores, and there are some provisions, if MSD is agreeable to, that we could try to present to them to at least see as much as we can to get more language in the city's favor.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. I just didn't know whether, we were identifying those items here tonight, or if council already has those items noted and is going to proceed in that direction.
I didn't make a word-for-word amendment. I just had general thoughts on things I thought needed to be added to the paragraphs, but I haven't attempted to craft those yet. But with them agreeing to pay Lisa's fees on this, I figure I'll let her make some money and protect the city.
Okay. So you've got a motion to postpone?
I guess slightly broader than that. I would move the ordinance be postponed, and that in conjunction with that, the board authorized the city attorney to negotiate the terms of this with MSD.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay. That item will be postponed for negotiation by the city attorney. Do you have any idea when you will be able to bring that back before the board?
I know that MSD wants to move on this as quickly as possible, so I would hope if it's not the next meeting, it would be the one after.
Okay, so if not the 14th, the 28th. Okay. All right. Alderman Charbonneau, was that, you just want a second? All right. Okay. All right, that takes care of the items removed from the consent agenda. Next item is new business. I see none. Next item is introduction of bills or future issues. I see none. And the next item is adjournment. Do I have a motion and a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you to the public for coming. Sorry.